Oh my god, Justice League. Hey, I'm Amy and welcome back. Today I'm talking about Justice League, one of the probably most anticipated movies since Wonder Woman came out. Probably maybe after Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't know, but I was really excited to see this because I really had high hopes for it after Wonder Woman, especially since Joss Whedon took over some of the writing and they had all those reshoots. But it did not disappoint. Even after the trailers and how great Wonder Woman was, and how horrible Batman vs. Superman was, and Suicide Squad, this movie was really great. I mean, it's definitely no Wonder Woman, but it is the best DCEU movie, in my opinion, that has come out besides Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman is literally my favorite superhero movie of all time now. And to preface this, before I really get into the nitty-gritty of my review, I only saw a couple reviews. I tried to stay away from the reviews as much as possible, but I did hear some pretty good ones, which may have skewed my view of this, but I tried not to let it as much. But I also am not a huge fan of the DC universe. I have never read any of the comics. I've never read any Marvel comics really either. I've read like an Archie and that's about it. But I never really got into like Batman, the Superman, any of that kind of stuff, except for like the Nolan Batman universe. The main cast of Justice League consists of Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne / Batman, Henry Cavill as Clark Kent / Superman, Gal Gadot as Diana Prince / Wonder Woman, Jeremy Irons as Alfred, as well as Amy Adams as Lois Lane. But coming on new to the team in Justice League is Ezra Miller as Barry Allen / The Flash, Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry / Aquaman, and Ray Fisher as Victor Stone / Cyborg. I know a lot of people were very kind of wary of the new cast, but a lot of people were just as equally excited. I was one of those very excited people because Jason Momoa looked like he fit the role of Aquaman perfectly. And I wrote down in my notes that Jason Momoa seemed to be just basically playing himself while he was Aquaman, which totally worked. He fit the role so well, and I'm really glad that they picked him for this role. And Ezra Miller as the Flash is just brilliant. I love everything I've ever seen Ezra Miller in, and I cannot wait for them to have a Flash movie out. Please, 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 Warner Brothers, put a Flash movie out. I would be so happy because honestly, I like the Flash TV series, but from what I know about the Flash, this is Barry Allen. And I'm sorry, Grant Gustin, I love you, you're adorable, but Ezra Miller is, in my opinion, so great. He's witty, he has the best, worst puns ever, and everything that I've heard that the Flash should be. Cyborg, on the other hand, I'm not knocking him. I think he was really cool. I mean, most of his armor, or most of Cyborg pretty much, was CGI, but Ray Fisher does a great job. You can really feel the emotion in his character at the beginning when he's really upset, and his kind of journey along with the rest of the Justice League to really feeling like part of the team. I am going to get into a little bit of spoilery territory here. It's nothing like super big. It's just something that I saw, or something that they were pushing in the movie that just, it doesn't have really anything to do with the plot or the storyline of the movie or where anything goes, but something they were pushing mostly through Alfred and a little bit of the dialogue, not just Alfred's dialogue, but character dialogue between Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince. They were really trying to get Bruce and Diana together, which really did not feel right. It just looks like such a weird combination between the two. Like they're trying to get them to fall in love. Like it's not working. Don't go any farther than that, please, Warner Brothers. Whoever's writing this, I feel like that might be a Joss Whedon ad, just trying to get the romance in, which you don't need it because you already have Lois Lane and Clark Kent, and you don't really need it. And plus there's kind of that romance going on, or like kind of sparking, if I want to throw a pun in there, between Flash and Cyborg. They really have a great chemistry going on between the two of them, as well as the chemistry and dynamic between Bruce and Arthur. They just have this really fun kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, they're not competitive against each other, but they just don't work well with other people, which Commissioner Gordon points that out to Bruce when Aquaman first comes onto the team. Or maybe it was Alfred. No, it was Commissioner Gordon. But yeah, they do it in the trailer. It's that scene in the trailer where he comments that Bruce is playing well with others. But yeah, they kind of just, both of them don't play well with others, because Arthur is very much a loner, and he talks about that at one point in the movie. And you really can tell anyways from a scene where he is in Atlantis. But Bruce is definitely the loner. We know that. That is Batman's persona. It is literally just the core of Batman, is being a loner. So the two of them working on a team, working together even, is just really an interesting dynamic, and to see how they play it out is really cool and fun. If you watch the opening credits really closely, which I did for some weird reason, I just kind of watch. Usually I'm just like, they kind of just flip past and I don't really watch the opening credits because I'm more interested in watching the opening scene, because that really sets up the tone of the rest of the movie. But for some reason I was kind of watching the opening credits, and I didn't know this until I saw these, but Danny Elfman did the score, which I'm kind of not surprised after like knowing that he did the score and then listening back to the score. It does have sort of an Elfman vibe to it, as well as Christopher Nolan was a producer on this movie, which is really awesome. And you can kind of see where his hand was in certain parts, which probably wasn't a whole lot, but a lot of the Batman stuff I feel like he had a hand in, because you really get kind of a little feel of the dark and grittiness that Nolan's Dark Knight series had a little bit. Not a whole lot. It wasn't as like kind of gritty and tough, and I guess that's the right word to describe how Christian Bale portrayed Batman. And I feel like Ben Affleck a little bit took the voice that Christian Bale did, because he does have a little bit of that "where is she" kind of hoarseness to his voice when he talks in his Batman cowl. I do have a couple little things about this movie that I wasn't super fond of. Mostly it's what I say about every movie for the most part. It gets a little bit predictable at some points, especially in the boss battle. There are some points, I'm not going to give any spoilers for what happens during the big boss battle, but you could probably guess. I feel like when it happens, it's very obvious that it's going to happen, and I wish they had done it a little differently. Like maybe they waited a couple more minutes or a couple more beats or something else before bringing in this big surprise, this is what happens kind of thing. But yeah, a little too predictable. The only other thing I really had about this was they built a couple things up that they're like really hitting hard on in at least that scene. Like they did super zooms on it or something, and they did literally nothing with it. Nothing at all. And it would have been really cool to see them do something with this. Maybe it was one of the rewrites that Joss Whedon did, like they just left that scene in and then they took out everything else that had to do with this one zoom in. And I'm talking about one specific scene, and you kind of will know what I am talking about if you have seen the movie or when you see the movie. It's just this one specific scene. They do this kind of close up on something, or actually it's an entire like scene unto itself. Somebody does something and they kind of get a little close in on it, make it super important, and then don't deliver at all. Like, why did you even put that scene in there? You could have just cut that out. If you had other stuff you filmed with it, cool, keep it in. But if you didn't, take everything out. If you just take a little bit of it out, take all of it out. All in all, I really enjoyed Justice League. I really cannot wait for all the individual movies. Aquaman is just going to be awesome. Jason Momoa is so good. He looks so creepy, but he is so great. Ezra Miller, like I said, super fun, and I really hope they do a Flash Cyborg movie because they don't really do a lot with their friendship, but I know from what I've read and researched that they are pretty good friends, so seeing how they build that relationship either in Justice League 2 or in the Flash movie or maybe in a Cyborg and Flash movie would be really, really fun and interesting and kind of a fun buddy cop-ish type movie. Not necessarily buddy cop, but in that vein, a little less dark than most of the DCEU movies are. My final score for this, and it's probably really low compared to what a lot of YouTube reviewers and social media influence reviewers are giving it, except for critics. I know a lot of critics probably aren't really rating this too high, which is weird because it's super fun and it's got a little bit of problems, but it's nothing like any of the other DC movies. But I would give this a Redbox. I will watch this again for sure, and I will probably eventually get this in my collection because I can't resist not getting a pop culture movie like this, but it's not something that I will actively seek out to get. So that is all I have for Justice League. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And question of the video, who is your favorite addition to the team, or is one of your favorites Superman, Batfleck, or Wonder Woman? But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you, whoever you are. Let me know who you are in the comments down below, and let's be friends. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe while you're down there too, because I love talking movies, TV shows, nerdy fun stuff, filmmaking. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye!